St. Clair Vision presents...
Here's an impromptu interview with screen star Dennis O'Keefe. About how long have you been smoking Camels?
Well, rough guess, I'd say about 15, 20 years.
Were Camels your first love in cigarettes, or did you try other brands?
Well, they weren't my first love. No, I smoked some other brands before I switched to Camels.
Well, did you find that Camels were better, taste better, get along with your throat?
Well, yes, they get along wonderfully with your throat. The main thing is that I like the taste of them. I think that anybody that smokes for the pleasure that they get out of it, and I get a big kick out of Camels.
Well, you're around the studios, the sound studios, that is, quite a bit making pictures. How long do you work during the course of a day?
Well, we work 8 hours during the course of the day, not counting overtime, which we manage to wiggle in once in a while. And, of course, during that time, we talk continuously. That's what we get paid for, you know.
Well, don't you feel that your cigarettes have to be pretty mild, then?
Well, yes, a mild cigarette's a very important part of a cigarette. If they haven't got mildness, why, they irritate you and cause hoarseness, etc. I find Camel's a very mild cigarette, but at the same time, well, you know, you've had a good smoke.
Hey, I can see you're enjoying it. Dennis, did you make your own 30-day Camel mildness test?
Well, personally, I've made the 30-day Camel test many, many times over. But it didn't take me 30 days either to know that this was my brand. Just about the first pack, I think.
Thanks very much, Dennis. Like so many other big league players, Vern Bickford spends most of his spare time out of doors. Whether it's on a putting green or just fishing, Bick often takes time to enjoy a Camel, America's favorite cigarette. Yes, Vern Bickford, too, gets more enjoyment from Camels than he got from any other cigarette. Is that right, Bick?
With Camels, every puff's a pleasure.
Try Camels yourself, fans, for 30 days. Through steady smoking, you'll discover how mild and good-tasting Camels are. You'll see why Camel is America's most popular cigarette by billions. Let's see what beautiful Ava Gabor does when she finishes a television show. One of the first things is to relax and reach for a cigarette. Yes, they're Camels. Like so many stars who use their voices constantly, Ava Gabor smokes Camels.
Let's go somewhere where we can be comfortable. And I tell you why I smoke Camels. You see, I had to be sure my cigarette agreed with my throat. I tried most of the leading brands, and I found that I liked Camel the best of all.
Try Camels yourself as your steady smoke for 30 days. Your T-Zone will tell you how mild and good-tasting Camels are, pack after pack, week after week. You'll soon see why Camel is America's most popular cigarette, leading all other brands by billions.
Try Camels yourself.
Howard, you sure Miss Collins is a good photographer? The last one made us look like a couple of gobs of dough.
Honey, this guy's supposed to be the greatest. He can make French pastry out of a donut.
Oh, well. Oh, hello, darling.
I believe you had an appointment with Mr. Collins, Mr. and Mrs.
Donut.
Well, naughty.
Yeah, okay, girls, that's it for today. Shilty, who's the next?
Would you step over here, Mr. and Mrs.
Oh, yes.
Hi. Sweetheart, what's this all about, huh?
Hold it! I think you're gonna like this picture.
Bob Cummings does!
Ida Howard, welcome to the Winston family. Winston tastes good like a...
Cigarette show.
Good girls.
Oh, Bob, this is divine.
Winston tastes good like a...
Cigarette show.
Among the many stars of opera, stage, and screen who are Camel smokers is Miss Marguerite Piazza.
Miss Piazza has a thrilling voice that has us all beguiled. And Camels are her smoking choice because they're cool and mild. Camel, smoke Camel, and see how mild a cigarette can be.
Folks, you can well imagine how important my voice is to me.
So naturally, I have to have a cigarette that agrees with my throat. So I smoke Camels. They suit my throat and taste to a T. Why don't you change to Camels, too?
Reacher Rowe of the Dodgers is an expert fisherman and takes every opportunity he can to go fishing. And part of his equipment is a pack of Camels. He tried many different brands and has this to say about Camels.
No other cigarette can compare with Camels for mildness or flavor.
Smoke Camels for 30 days. Through steady smoking, you'll discover how mild and good-tasting Camels are. You'll see why, after all the mildness tests, Camel is America's most popular cigarette by billions.
Among the many stars of opera, stage, and screen who are Camel smokers is Miss Ann Sothern.
On stage and screen and radio, Ann Sothern is a star. She's chosen Camels 'cause she knows how mild Camels are. Camels, smoke Camels, and see how mild a cigarette can be.
Oh, thank you, dear.
Hey, the last one. You better get another pack.
Okay.
Thank you.
You probably think that we're making a big fuss over a cigarette. Well, sure. You don't really have to keep this wonderful new king-size Philip Morris cigarette in a safe. It's just our way of telling you that they are kind of precious. The finest king-size cigarette in America today. Smooth, mild, and mellow, and easy on your throat. How about you trying them yourself? Just call for Philip Morris, king-size or regular. Buy him by the carton. You're gonna love him, and we're gonna love you. Hey, what was that for?
You said it so beautifully.
Good night, everybody.
See you next week.
Lucille Ball and P. Arnaz will be back next week at the same time.
Let's watch a motion picture in the making.
Your record's over, sweetheart. Believe me, I hate to see a pretty girl like you go to jail.
Okay, print it. Relax, everybody. You too, Mr. Poe.
Well, that's something I really know how to do. Whether it's between scenes in a motion picture or during rehearsals of my radio program, Richard Diamond, I know how to relax. I just sit back and enjoy Camel. There's real flavor for you. I smoke Camels regularly because they're mild and they agree with my throat. And that's mighty important when you use your voice as much as I do.
Try Camels yourself as your steady smoke for 30 days. Your T-Zone will tell you how mild and good-tasting Camels are, pack after pack, week after week. You'll soon see why Camel is America's most popular cigarette, leading all other brands by billions.
Yes, make a note. Think of your throat. Enjoy Camels. I always do.
Among the many stars of opera, stage, and screen who are Camel smokers is Miss Maureen O'Hara.
Maureen O'Hara's cigarette must always suit her throat. And that's the reason Camels get Maureen O'Hara's vote. Camels, smoke Camels, and see how mild a cigarette can be.
Just because Ilona Massey has reached stardom does not mean she has stopped studying. Beautiful Ilona takes every chance she can get to improve her voice.
Well, let's take a break, Ilona. How about time out for a cigarette?
Oh, if it's Camel, yes. Once a Camel smoker, always a Camel smoker. Thank you. You see, I found that out when I made my own 30-day Camel mildness test. Camels are just right for my throat, and you know how much that means to me. After all, I use my voice quite a great deal. Besides, I have never smoked another cigarette that tastes as good as a Camel.
See for yourself how mild, how flavorful, how enjoyable Camels are, pack after pack. See why more people smoke Camels than any other cigarette. Change to Camels today.
Julie London sings the Marlboro song.
Where there's a man, there's a Marlboro. You like the flavor of a Marlboro. Good filter, good flavor, good mild smoke. Make yours the filter made by Marlboro. You get a lot to like with a Marlboro filter, flavor, with top box.
Among the many stars of opera, stage, and screen who are camel smokers is Henry Fonda.
Henry Fonda gladly tried the famous camel test, and that's how Henry did decide that camels suit him best.
Camels, smoke camels, and see how mild a cigarette can be.
The Cleveland pitching staff is considered one of the strongest in the leagues, and one of the Indians' mound stars is Early Wynn. Wynn, a 20-game winner in 1951, is especially effective when the pressure is on. Early, or Gus as he's sometimes called, is a husky Alabaman. He's a cool right-hander, and his coolness has paid off in strikeouts. Watch him charge that bunt in a morning workout. You have to be pretty good to lay one down past Wynn. Like so many Major League ball players, Early enjoys his moments of relaxation with a Camel cigarette. Before Wynn picked Camels for steady smoking, he tried the various mildness tests. The test that gave him the proof he wanted was the 30-day Camel test. He discovered that puff after puff, Camels have a mildness that agrees with his throat and a flavor that doesn't tire his taste. Try Camels yourself. You'll soon see why, after all the tests, Camel is America's favorite cigarette.
Camel close-ups. The ladies always take a second look at Robert Merrill, popular baritone of opera and concert stage. Let's meet him after the show.
Bob, those broad shoulders of yours suggest that you were an athlete.
Well, I guess I'm the only opera singer who was ever slated for a tryout with the Brooklyn Dodgers. But I'm not the only singer who's a Camel fan. Lots of us are.
Well, Bob, tell me, why do so many singing stars like you smoke Camels?
Well, in my case, what with rehearsals, a heavy schedule at the opera, TV shows, concert tours, I can't take chances with my voice. I have to have a cigarette that agrees with my throat. And Camels fill the bill. They're mild, and they taste great.
Make a note. Think of your throat. Try Camels today.
What a pair. What a buy. Chesterfield King Size at the new low price. Chesterfield Regular. And what a pair this is. Hollywood starlets Jean and Joan Corbett. It's easy to see why we picked them for Chesterfield's Poster of the Month. Let's see what size Chesterfield Jean likes.
I go for regulars. They're best for me because they have the taste and mildness I want. I agree with what Jean says about Chesterfields, except for the size. I've smoked king-size Chesterfields ever since they came out.
Buy a carton at the new low price. Chesterfield King Size. Chesterfield Regular. They satisfy millions. They're best for you.
Allie Reynolds of the Yankees takes his golf almost as seriously as he takes his baseball. He shoots in the high 70s. And when Allie lights up a cigarette, you can be sure it's a Camel. He discovered years ago that Camels have a full, rich flavor and a mildness that agree with his throat, pack after pack. Am I right, Allie?
I've been smoking Camels for a long, long time, and I know they're mild.
Smoke Camels yourself, folks. You'll see why after all the mildness tests. Camel is America's most popular cigarette by billions.
Among the many stars of opera, stage, and screen who are Camel smokers is Robert Young.
Robert Young would walk a mile for camels and with haste, for he smoked camels quite a while. They suit his throat and taste.
Camels, smoke camels, and see how mild a cigarette can be.
Marguerite Piazza, one of the loveliest stars in opera and television, is among the many, many smokers around the country who have made the 30-day Camel mildness test, smoking only Camels for 30 days. Let's hear what Miss Piazza has to say.
If you want to smoke a cigarette that's mild and good tasting, too, try Camels. I did, and I found that Camels have a mildness that agrees with my throat, and a rich flavor that I didn't find in any other brand.
Try Camels yourself as your steady smoke for 30 days. Your T-Zone will tell you how mild and good-tasting Camels are, pack after pack, week after week. You'll soon see why Camel is America's most popular cigarette, leading all other brands by billions.
Why don't you change to Camels, too?
After a game, Carl Furillo of the Dodgers looks for his pretty wife and a mild cigarette, a Camel, of course. Carl tried many different brands before he decided on Camels as his steady smoke. It was the sensible 30-day Camel test that really convinced him just how mild a cigarette can be. Follow Carl's lead. Smoke Camels yourself. You'll see why, after all the mildness tests, Camel is America's most popular cigarette by billions.
What a wonderful difference. Montclair's menthol is in the tip, not in the tobacco. Remember, all other menthol cigarettes put their menthol in the tobacco. Only Montclair puts it in the tip. Know why? So the menthol cannot burn. Montclair's menthol tip cools the taste of the good golden tobaccos, freshens the flavor the whole smoke through so it never tastes dry or bitter. Montclair's filter adds to your smoking pleasure instead of taking it away.
Montclair's last puff tastes as fresh as the first puff. Montclair's last puff tastes as fresh as the first puff. Because Montclair's menthol is in the tip, not in our fine tobacco. Smoke Montclair modern cigarettes. Smoke Montclair modern cigarettes.
The only cigarette that puts the menthol in the tip.
Whenever Billy Cox of the Dodgers packs for a picnic, a carton of Camels goes into the basket. He goes for that cool Camel mildness and Camel's rich flavor. Let's hear what Billy has to say.
I get more pleasure out of Camels than I ever got from any other cigarette.
Folks, Billy Cox is just one of many big league baseball stars who smokes Camels. Like millions of fans, they've discovered how mild and good tasting a cigarette can be. Try Camels yourself in your T-Zone. That's T for throat and T for taste. You'll see why, after all the mildness tests, Camel is America's most popular cigarette by billions. Outfielder Hank Bauer of the New York Yankees likes to take life easy when he's not playing baseball. That is, as long as he has plenty of Camel cigarettes on hand. Hank tried different leading brands, but his own 30-day Camel test proved to him that Camel's mildness and flavor suits him to a T. Do as Hank Bauer did, folks. Test and compare Camels for mildness and flavor in your own T-Zone. That's T for throat and T for taste. You'll see why, after all the mildness tests, Camel is America's most popular cigarette by billions.
That was there in that picture. Lucille and Desi were in a 1953 Mercury. I want you to show you the two of them here in the same model, 1954 Mercury. So here's the most famous comedy team of our country, the star of their own show, I Love Lucy, for Philip Morris. We got a cigarette with you there, Sonny boy?
Yeah, I was hoping you asked me that.
And the other night at the Academy Awards, I had the pleasure of presenting to them the Emmy as the top comedy team of the year. So let's have a very big hand for these Lucille and Desi. Hey, Desi, you had a lot of experience with our Mercury altering the picture. What'd you think of it?
I loved it. It was wonderful.
That's my boy. Now, all of us can't be Lucille and Desi. We can't be the stars of our own show. If you take a tip from me and go down to your Lincoln Mercury dealer this week, and he will show you how you can star in your own road show on any road.
Clem Levine, young Dodger pitcher, packs a carton of Camels whenever the team goes on the road. Is that right, Clem?
I'll take Camels any day. A real smoking pleasure.
Yes, folks, Clem Levine has discovered, like millions of fans, that puff after puff and pack after pack, no other cigarette compares to Camel for real smoking enjoyment. Smoke Camels yourself for 30 days. You'll discover that Camel mildness and flavor suit your throat and taste to a T. You'll see why, after all the mildness tests, Camel is America's most popular cigarette by billions. When Vern Stevens of the Red Sox is taking it easy, you'll find he has a pack of Camels within reach. Vern is one of many Major League players who smokes Camels. He found that Camels have a cool mildness and rich flavor unmatched by any other cigarette. What do you have to say about Camels, Vern?
Camels are a great smoke.
Yes, Camel cigarettes are a great smoke. Try Camels yourself, fans, for 30 days. Through steady smoking, you'll discover how mild and good-tasting Camels are. Why Camel is America's most popular cigarette by billions.
He's been a great movie star and a U.S. Navy test pilot. He's been a big-name band leader who plays every instrument in the band. He's been a Broadway leading man, a radio star, and a television star. He's Mr. Versatility, Buddy Rogers.
And I've also been, still am, and will continue to be a Camel smoker. You see, I have a pretty good idea of what I want in a cigarette. I like rich flavor. And to me, there's no cigarette that tastes as good as a Camel. I like a cigarette that agrees with my throat, and Camels do just that.
Like Buddy Rogers, millions find Camels exactly to their liking. Camels are America's most popular cigarette by far. They have a flavor you won't find in any other cigarette. Try Camels yourself as your steady smoke for 30 days. Your T-Zone will tell you how mild and good-tasting Camels are, pack after pack, week after week. You'll soon see why Camel is America's most popular cigarette, leading all other brands by billions. Cigarette mildness is important to actors and singers. That's why so many smoke Camels. Listen to Dennis O'Keefe.
When I changed to Camels, I found that they agree with my throat. Pack after pack, week after week. And no other cigarette comes up to Camels for flavor.
Julie London sings the Marlboro song.
Where there's a man, there's a Marlboro. You get a lot to like with a Marlboro. Filter, flavor, flip-top box. You get a lot to like with a Marlboro. Filter, flavor, flip-top box.
Marlboro, popular filter price. And now, another first from Marlboro. Something new inside Marlboro's flip-top box. It's the handy self-starter. Just slowly pull up the red tab and the cigarettes pop up. One more reason you get a lot to like with Marlboro. Try 'em.
Here's your script for tomorrow, Mr. Hames. Rehearsal at 2.
Oh, thanks, Madge. Say, you know something, Madge? Anybody in this business has a pretty tough schedule. For example, I just made a new movie, got some new records to cut, with radio and television guest appearances, and get kind of rugged.
Kind of rugged on your voice. Oh, I see you're a Camel smoker, too.
I sure am. With all the singing I do, I've got to think of my throat. And believe me, Camels have a mildness that agrees with my throat, and a rich flavor I couldn't find in any other cigarette.
Try Camels yourself as your steady smoke for 30 days. Your T-Zone will tell you how mild and good-tasting Camels are, pack after pack, week after week. You'll soon see why Camel is America's most popular cigarette leading all other brands by billions.
Every puff's a pleasure.
As the Cleveland Indians make their bid this year for the American League pennant, catcher Jim Hegan continues to be a very important man in the starting lineup. Here's Jim taking some warm-up pitches between innings. With the exception of 3 years out for military duty, Big Jim has been with the Indians since 1941. Yes, Big Jim. He stands 6'2", and he makes an excellent target for the Cleveland pitchers. He's one of the best catchers in the business, and his warm smile makes him very popular with his teammates. Hegan loves to talk baseball on or off the field, and like a lot of his teammates and so many big league players, Jim gets more pleasure from Camels than from any other cigarette. By testing many different brands, he discovered that Camel has everything he wants in a cigarette. Mildness and flavor that suits his throat and taste to a T. Follow Jim Hegan's lead. Smoke Camels yourself. You'll see why, after all the tests, Camel leads all other brands by billions.
You may have a little trouble finding the town of Alberta Lee, Minnesota on the map, but we probably all know one of its native sons, Richard Carlson. He's been in many movies and in Broadway plays. He has also written plays for Broadway. Like so many stars of the theatrical world, Richard Carlson smokes America's most popular cigarette, Camels. Here's why he smokes Camels.
You know, when you're shooting a picture, you've got to be in good voice. Well, since I switched to Camels, I never worry. Camels get along with my throat pack after pack. And they've got a flavor that no other cigarette has.
Try Camels yourself as your steady smoke for 30 days. Your T-Zone will tell you how mild and good-tasting Camels are, pack after pack, week after week. You'll soon see why Camel is America's most popular cigarette, leading all other brands by billions.
Won't you join me?
Lucy,
Yes, dear.
give me a cigarette, will you, huh?
Don't say cigarettes, say Philip Morris.
Oh? Is there any other kind?
Not for you, there isn't. Nothing but the best for Mr. Ricardo.
Thank you. Lucy, you're so good to me.
You see how easy it is to keep a man happy? Why not give your husband a carton of Philip Morris cigarettes?
Smart move. He'll love them for their mildness, their smoothness, and their wonderful good taste. And he'll love you, too, for thinking of him.
That's right. Good night, everybody. And don't forget, call for Philip Morris. Call for Philip Morris!
Here's what opera star Marguerite Piazza says about Camels.
If you want to smoke a cigarette that's mild and good tasting too, try Camels. I did, and I found that Camels have a mildness that agrees with my throat, and a rich flavor that I didn't find in any other brand. Try Camels and see.
The broad-shouldered gentleman you see lighting a Camel is Robert Merrill, star of opera and television.
Like so many singers I know, I smoke Camels. I can't take chances with my voice. I have to have a cigarette that agrees with my throat, and Camels fill the bill. They're mild, and they taste great.
Vic Raschi, star right-hander of the New York Yankees, knows the word for America's favorite cigarette, Camel. Yes, Vic's a long-time Camel smoker, too, just like a lot of his teammates. He discovered way back that Camel mildness agrees with his throat, and Camel flavor is unmatched by any other cigarette. What do you say to that, Vic?
You just can't beat Camels for mildness and flavor.
Try Camels yourself, folks, for 30 days. Through steady smoking, you'll see why, after all the mildest tests, Camel is America's most popular cigarette by billions.
and gentlemen, I'm going to do some advertising for my sponsor, Camel Cigarettes. I really do not have to mention Camel Cigarettes. I don't even have to mention the word camels. I don't have to mention my sponsor. I don't have to, but the unemployment agencies are jammed. But instead of telling you how wonderful camels are, I'm going to show you, absolutely show you, that 4 people out of 5 actually ask for camels. And the 5th one asks for matches. I've been working on this here for about 3 days. This is my display. Oh, yes. Yes, miss.
Do you have any Camel cigarettes here?
Camel cigarettes? I'll look. Camel cigarettes. You wish a pack?
Please.
Yes. Here's a nice pack. I've been working on this display for 3 days now. There you are.
Thank you.
Well, that's perfectly all right. I'll finish the display, you know. Oh, yes? Yes.
I'd like a package of those delicious, mild Camel cigarettes. Please.
Yes. Unquestionably, she's being paid by the sponsor. Camel cigarettes? Yes. Here's some Camel. I've been working on this display 3 days.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's perfectly all right. I'll finish the display. Oh, for heaven's sake. Yes, ma'am?
I'd like a package of Camel cigarettes, please.
Camel?
Yes.
Oh, there's some up there. I've been working on this display 3 days, you know. If you go up 2 more high, you see it. There you are, miss.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, you better make that 2 packages.
You mean you want another package of Camels?
Yes, please.
You just thought of that? You made it up yourself? There you are, man.
Thank you.
Perfectly all right. Got to finish the display. Bill Frawley, my goodness me. My goodness me. Bill, I must admit that you have me absolutely, I'm so surprised, you know, at seeing you here.
Why?
Well, I don't know, I'm just, I thought that you were to be on my show next week when I had Joey Brown also and Ilona Massey. That's what, and I'm surprised to see you here tonight.
Yes, I know that, Ed. I'm very happy about it. Thank you.
Well, that's
I just happened to be in the neighborhood, and I thought I'd drop in for a pack of Camels.
Camel cigarettes?
Yes, you have Camels.
Well, I'll look. One pack of Camel cigarettes.
One pack.
Won't catch me again on that.
No.
Huh?
I want a pack out of this carton.
Pardon me?
This carton.
You want a pack out of that carton?
That's right, that carton.
He probably will not be on the show next week. Thought of this, I don't know. 3 days I've been working on this.
Come on, son, don't loiter, come on.
I'm not loitering, I'm just...
Come on.
There you are, Bill.
Thank you. But I want the whole carton.
One of those?
This carton.
You want this carton here?
That carton there, do you mind?
I've been waiting 3 days on this thing here.
Hurry it up, son, will you? Hurry it up.
There you are, Bill. Phil. Thank you, lad. Thank you very much. See you next week, Phil. You bet you will. Yeah. Good night. Good night. And be funny. Yes, sir. I suppose that you folks thought that all of those Camel cigarettes were going to fall down. You know? Didn't you really? Because I did, too.
This is a disgrace. You call that advertising? You've been at it 3 days. Where's that carton of Camels?
What carton?
Get another carton of Camels.
Get another carton yourself. Pardon me, do you have a fountain pen? Oh, a fountain pen. Yes, sir, I do. Yes. Thank you. Yes. Have a blonde. Wise guy, huh? Do you have a fountain pen? Well, yes. Here's one. Thank you. Oh! Oh! You know something? That this has got to stop. Because you're driving me crazy. I've got to get rid of these executives. I've got to find a way to get... Please, bring that one. I've got to get rid of it. Bring it on, Pat, would you please? I get rid of them. I must get rid of them. Would you take this, please, from me, Lenny? Thank you very much. See, these are the 3 executives. You've seen their initials for years. That's C, and that's B, and that's F. CBS. You've seen them all over. I'll get rid of them. Mr. C, you want it on the phone here. Oh, thank you. All right. Hello? Hello? Mr. B, yes? You want it on the telephone, please. Thank you. That's all right.
Hello? 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 Hello?
Mr. Red, yes? You want it on the telephone here.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello? 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 Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
And we're getting rid of them. All right.
Hey, what's up, Davy? Nothing's up. There's nobody here but us monkeys. Make friends with Kool-Aid. Make Kool-Aid with friends. For fruit that never ends. Make friends with Kool-Aid. For fruit that never ends. Make some Kool-Aid soft drink mix. You can always use another friend.
Would you look what a fella sent to me, Andy Griffith? I guess it's the latest in fads. You know, clothes, paintings, even cereals. Crazy shapes, wild colors. But like most people, I stick with the old reliables, like Post Toasties. It's naturally good tasting, naturally good for you. Remember what Andy Griffith says, you need a good basic breakfast, so get yourself the good basic cereal. Post Toasties. Mmm.
Hey, young fella, that takes energy. Better make sure you replace it. Lasso a bundle of energy. A loaf of swell-tasting Sunbeam bread. Every slice of Sunbeam bread helps to restore your pep and zip. How about it, boys and girls? Lasso yourself some of Gene Autry's favorite bread. You'll go for the swell taste of Gene Autry's brand. Fresh, nourishing Sunbeam bread. Sunbeam bread is packed with energy values you need to keep you raring to go. So get the nourishing loaf with Gene Autry's picture on the wrapper end. It's tops for toast, swell for sandwiches, and great with every meal. So reach for Sunbeam bread. Fresh, tempting Sunbeam. The bread you need for energy.
Over 100 years ago in the land of sky blue waters. A beer is a beer until you've tasted Hamm's.
Even such a place never gets too heavy. It doesn't matter, it never holds you down. The snack that's always right, but anytime you want it, it's the cool light snack you like to have around.
Great Nuts breakfast time. Good. Crunchy little nuggets bursting with nut sweet flavor. Well, first we got to exercise them. Do we have to? That's our agreement. We got to keep slim and trim. It helps to eat the right kind of food, like a post-Great Nuts breakfast. I do, honest. And we got to exercise. How long? You want your post-Great Nuts? Fine. Come on. A Great Nuts breakfast fills you up, not out. 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 Delicious.
The Andy Griffith Show was brought to you by Toast Cereal. Another fine product of General Foods.
I'm Ewell Gibbons. Many consider me an expert on natural foods like cattails. Yes, they're edible. I look for natural ingredients in my food. That's why Grape Nuts is part of my breakfast. This is a wholesome cereal made from wheat and barley. These natural ingredients are baked into crunchy nuggets and fortified with 8 essential vitamins. Its naturally sweet taste reminds me of wild hickory nuts. I call Grape Nuts my back-to-nature cereal.
Simon Pure Beer presents Buster Keaton. When you order a beer, ask the man to draw Simon Pure. The happier, hoppier beer.
Hey, young fella, that takes energy. Better make sure you replace it. Lasso a bundle of energy, a loaf of swell-tasting Sunbeam bread. Every slice of Sunbeam bread helps to restore your pep and zip. How about it, boys and girls? Lasso yourself some of Hopalong Cassidy's favorite bread. You'll go for the swell taste of Hoppy's favorite, fresh, nourishing Sunbeam bread. Sunbeam bread is packed with energy values you need to keep you raring to go. It's swell for snacks, tops for toast, and great with every meal. So get the nourishing loaf with Hoppy's picture on the wrapper end. Reach for Sunbeam bread. Ask Mom to buy fresh, tempting Sunbeam, the bread you need for energy.
Now it says that I'm supposed to have a tray with soup and... Oh, bless your sweetheart. Oh, you handsome man, you. It's supposed to be a slim, graceful vase of flowers. It looks pretty short and fat and dumpy. But anyhow, you get the idea. Spring, April in Paris, May in the Bronx, and a bowl of soup and you. Fresh cut flowers and soup. Sure, that's a good springtime dish. A bowl of the freshest tasting, most delicious chicken noodle soup you ever had. And you make it out of an envelope that comes in a box like that, Lipton chicken noodle soup. There are 3 envelopes in that. We have the whole business here. Look, everything is on a board. Those are all the brands that Lipton makes. But how about some of that chicken noodle soup for spring? You cook it in 10 minutes. Makes 4 to 6 servings each, depending on whether you really love soup or not. You know, just want a little bit. All you want is just a little cup, a little bowl. As you start the meal, it's good for you inside. There's plenty of noodles in there. And there's chicken there, too. You won't find it, but it's there. There's chicken. Guaranteed there's chicken. Guaranteed. If you find any, bring it to us, will you? But it's there. And it's delicious. Really delicious. Because you make it yourself, like you do all the other Lipton soups. Lipton chicken noodle, onion soup, green pea soup, beef, vegetable soup, or tomato vegetable soup. And that green pea soup, oh boy. They're all good. And the reason that they're good is that what you buy here are ingredients. It's not a canned soup that you just add water to and heat. No. You cook these. These are ingredients. It takes 8 to 10 minutes, depending on the kind of soup. You cook it yourself. It's homemade, and therefore it has that flavor. And it has the flavor of the kind of soup that ordinarily, if you were to make it the old-fashioned way, would take hours of simmering on a hot stove all day. You do it in 10 minutes. Sure, I know, when you go in the grocery store, there are all those cans that are so easy to pick up, and you have to go way on down till you find the Lipton envelopes. But do it one time. Remember to do it once and try it. I think you'll stick with it. You'll find that the difference is worth the little extra effort. They are delicious soups made by Lipton. Try them. Lipton always likes it if I take a taste. I will therefore take a taste. Oh, look. See all the noodles in there? Chicken. Cheek. Oh, that is so good. Oh. Let me put it down. I'd like to have some more later. I'll put this way so we can see our next talent scout while I guzzle the soup.
What's in this box? What's in this box? What's in this box? It's something for you, boys and girls. Can you guess what it is? Well, here's a hint. It's the latest thing in Space Patrol equipment. Something new and different that you saw Cadet Happy using on today's program. Can't tell you what it is because right now it's a Space Patrol secret. But get pencil and paper ready quick because at the end of today's program, I'll be allowed to tell you what it is and how you can get it. So watch closely and get set. This is the greatest value ever offered on Space Patrol. Meantime, see if you can guess what's in this box. What's in this box? What's in this box?
Boys and girls, here's a chance for you and your family to help a crippled child get well again. Give to the March of Dimes and help little victims of infantile paralysis. Join the 1953 March of Dimes today.
Be sure to hear Space Patrol on ABC Radio every Saturday. Consult your newspaper for time and station. And be sure to join us again when Space Patrol is brought to you on television by those bite-sized cereals in the red and white checkerboard package. Wheat Jack, Rice Jack, and good hot roast. This is ABC Television Network. This is it, gang. The greatest value in official Space Patrol equipment we've ever offered. 4-power, full-field, fixed-focus space binoculars that you can see way off in the distance with. Hold them in your hand or wear them on your head like Major Robertson is doing. Just think, he's watching Cadet Happy and he's blocks and blocks away. See, here's how Hap looks to Major Robertson through his space binoculars. Yes, sir, space binoculars make everything in the distance look bigger, closer, and clearer.
Boys and girls, the space binoculars you get be exactly like mine. They'll have 4 powerful, pure lucite lenses. They'll have this elastic band to hold them in place in your head. And they'll have Space Patrol written on the front, just like mine have. To get a pair of space binoculars exactly like Buzz Corey's, buy a box of Instant Ralston. Then, with your name and address, send 25 cents in coin and an Instant Ralston box top to Space Patrol, Box 812, St. Louis, Missouri. If you don't agree that your binoculars are tops, return them. We'll return your money. That's Space Patrol, Box 812, St. Louis, Missouri. Now, have you guessed what Buzz Corey has for you in the mystery box? Well, let's take a look and see if you're right. Oh, boy, look. A pair of those wonderful new Space Patrol space binoculars. Jumpin' Jupiter, are they ever terrific? Remember how Hap looked through them and saw the commander way, way off in the distance flashing that light at him? Well, you'll be able to see that way, way off in the distance with yours, too. Yes, sirree, these are real 4-power plastic binoculars. And when you look through them, they make everything in the distance look bigger and closer and clearer. Fun? Man, oh, man. See these kids coming out of school? Pretty far away, aren't they? But, wow, look at them now. Here's how you'd see them through space binoculars. Yes, sir, space binoculars bring things right up close to you. Boy, think of the fun. You can study birds in the trees. See people coming blocks away. See baseball players bigger and clearer. And do hundreds of other exciting things with your space binoculars all year long. And don't forget, your binoculars are just like the ones Buzz Corey uses. You betcha, gang. And take it from me, these big, powerful space binoculars are the greatest value we've ever offered. But remember, it's only for a limited time, so don't get left out. Send for your Space Patrol binoculars today.
See this cute little vial here? It's crack, rock cocaine, the most addictive form. You think it's the glamour drug of the 80s? Well, that's the point of this fronted little reminder. It can kill you. And if you've got to die for something, this sure as hell ain't it.
Action. Okay, cut. That's fine, fellas. Thanks, Duke. See you in the morning. Good night, Mr. Wellman. Folks, there's a little rough and tumble for you. But even in motion pictures, if you were to have a man fighting for his life every 5 minutes or so, it'd seem a little bloodthirsty. Well, in real life, every 5 minutes, one American is attacked by tuberculosis, TB. Murph, you got those Christmas seals?
Coming up, Mr. Wayne.
TB attacks at any age, old folks right on down the line to the kids, like these on this year's Christmas seals. Maybe you have a couple of youngsters like these, a little older, a little younger. The point is that Christmas seals fight tuberculosis, and when you buy and use Christmas seals, you're helping to prevent TB from getting at them, or at any of us. You never know whose life you're saving when you buy Christmas seals, but the important thing is that you are helping to save lives. So please answer your Christmas seal letter today. And if it hasn't arrived, mail your contribution to your Tuberculosis Association. Ask them to send you your Christmas seals. Thank you very much.
I know a place that's peaceful and quiet. A place where animals play. It's called the forest, but every year we start forest fires. A careless match or cigarette and poof, fire. So the next time you're in the forest, be extra careful, okay?
If you knew it was me, would you have listened?
Surprised to find me, Gail Gordon, in a cancer research laboratory? Of course, I'm not a cancer researcher, but I am interested in finding an answer to the cancer problem, and I know how each of us can help. Please
respond generously to the American Cancer Society's fundraising appeal and contribute some time, too, as an American Cancer Society volunteer.
Every story has its hero. Most of us don't have a chance very often to be storybook heroes. But then again, maybe the real heroes are the quiet kind. Someone who takes an admirable part in a remarkable action without any thought of glory or applause. Now, right now, all of us can be involved in a remarkable action ourselves. The volunteer fight against our country's #1 infectious killer, tuberculosis. TB is attacking Americans at the rate of 1 every 5 minutes. Every half hour, another American dies of TB. But we're in this thing, and we're fighting TB when we buy and use Christmas seals. We're in there with the doctors and research scientists who are working to find ways of stopping TB. We're helping to make chest x-rays possible for everyone. We're teaching children and grown-ups how to protect themselves from TB. And we're helping to give ex-TB patients a chance to live useful lives. In my book, anyone who's a part of this contribution to humanity is a hero, the quiet kind. Someone who's taking an admirable part in a remarkable action without thought of glory or applause. Won't you answer your Christmas seal letter today? It's your chance to be a hero. This is the letter I mean. This one. Thank you.
You know, they may find a cure for cancer even without your help. But if I were you, I wouldn't bet my life on it.
You are not alone. You are not alone. You are not alone. No man is alone, nowhere under the sky. A prayer, a plea never dies, just echoes and re-echoes, lingering on the air. The call is for you, and you can hear it, even over the wind of a hurricane. The anguish of a father.
Everything smashed.
You hear. You shelter and clothe the homeless. You feed the hungry. You help rebuild homes, lives. And sometimes the call comes from afar. A little music goes a long way, all the way to Korea, in the wards, where grim, silent battles are fought.
Does anyone remember?
And you do remember. A birthday, a letter to a loved one. And you say to them, you are not alone.
I want to live. I want to see my baby.
Your blood given from your veins, your heart, saving a mother's life. All this you do through your American Red Cross. All this and more. Your membership card means you are not alone. You're not alone when you need help. You're not alone when you give help. Answer the call. Join and serve.
Want to invest in your family's future? Give to the American Cancer Society.
Hi. How's the battle going?
Not so good. I've seen you before. Are you a doctor?
Nope. My name's Frank. What's yours?
Arnold Gordon Nolte Jr. My folks don't call me Junior. They call me Gordy.
Okay, Gordy. Say, the doctors here at the hospital tell me you're a pretty good soldier yourself.
The Indians We're gonna wipe out the stagecoach this time. See?
Mm-hmm. Doesn't look very good, does it? But I think I came just in time. Got some reinforcements.
Gee, thanks.
This is a battlefield, make-believe and real. The real battle is the one Gordy Nolde is fighting with tuberculosis. Gordy first contracted tuberculosis of the lungs, and then it spread to his spine and has now dissolved one of the vertebrae in his back and is attacking the others. Gordy will probably spend the next 3 years of his life in this TB hospital fighting tuberculosis. But TB is our fight, too. Every 5 minutes, another American breaks down with tuberculosis. It can happen to any of us, age, sex, rich or poor. It doesn't make any difference. But right now, each of us has the opportunity to join in the fight against TB through our purchase of Christmas seals. Our Christmas seal dollars are needed for chest x-rays, health education, rehabilitation, and for medical research. For Gordy and for thousands who are young and old, the fight against TB is face-to-face. But for us, it's a lot easier. Christmas seals on every card, Christmas seals on every package. And make sure you answer your Christmas seal letter today. It's important. And thanks from FS for CS, Frank Sinatra for Christmas seals.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Danny Thomas, and it's my privilege to speak in behalf of Variety Clubs International. I'm sure some of you know about the wonderful work done by Variety. Groups of unselfish show business guys all over the world, bound together for the purpose of alleviating the suffering and distress of underprivileged and unfortunate children everywhere. In the areas of Northern California, the Variety Club has dedicated itself to turning light into the dark world of the blind. This child is blind. He was born blind. Without help, he could remain in darkness. But with understanding, a sense of security and training, he can become a happy child and live a meaningful life. The Variety Club of Northern California, through its Blind Babies Foundation, provides help to blind tots of preschool age, giving them the chance to live better lives. Skilled professionals retained by the foundation work directly with the children and their parents, bringing special skills and the most modern techniques to the difficult task of training and providing a sense of security. And help through counseling is offered to the parents and the families of blind children. The skilled workers teach an understanding of the problems of blindness. They offer encouragement and advice, all of which gives to the handicapped child security and warmth. The deep wounds of a life in total darkness are avoided. This blind tot is only one of many here in Northern California. Hundreds have been helped by the Variety Club Blind Babies Foundation, but there is still much more work to be done. More children born blind must be offered a chance to fully develop their potential and to achieve a rewarding life. More light must be turned into more dark worlds. Now the ushers will pass among you and ask for the odd change in your purse or wallet, or for you older guys, the few pennies in the old vest pocket. Put them in a receptacle as an investment to the citizens of tomorrow's America. Please give. The care of our children is very important. Believe me, I know. Through my own experience with St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital in Memphis, Tennessee. Thank you.
We're asking you for help again this year. You're lucky. It could be the other way around.
Birth defects strike over 250,000 infants a year in this country alone. What can we do about it? Plenty. You know, research has shown that some birth defects can be prevented by proper prenatal care, and that includes good nutrition.
That's not bad, but 4 pounds in 2 weeks is terrific.
I'm Mark Hamill, asking you to protect the unborn and the newborn.
folks. I'm John Wayne. You know, with America's bicentennial coming up, we'll be hearing a lot about our early history and making some discoveries. For instance, did you know that when we made the Louisiana Purchase, the money came from loans by the American people? The same thing was true when we bought Alaska, when we built our first transcontinental railroad. Fact is, citizens have been investing their dollars to help America grow ever since 1776. And they're still doing it today with their purchases of United States savings bonds. Buying bonds builds security for yourself as well as your country, and that's not a bad combination. So how about making yourself a part of that 200-year tradition? Take stock in America with United States savings bonds. Thank you.
This year, Great Western Savings begins its 100th year as part of the West. Share with us now a moment from our history.
Beautiful country. You know, I rode out here about 50 years ago on a little dun horse and started a film career. Picture called The Big Trail. Well, I've made quite a few since then. Some good and some bad. Matter of fact, in those days, a Great Western savings account had to come in pretty handy. Matter of fact, they come in pretty handy anytime. It's kind of nice to know you have something set aside. So if you ever figure on that, remember that Great Western savings can be mighty helpful. Don't forget.
Filmed in 1978.
And now, Ozzy has an important announcement to make.
Yes, this is really big news. A new Kodak film called Kodacolor 135. This is the world's first snapshot film for 35mm cameras. Now, for the first time, that color slide camera of yours is a color snapshot camera, too. Kodacolor 135 gives you sharp color prints and big, brilliant enlargements like this. Here are some pictures I took. Some indoors, some outdoors, all on the same roll of film. Actually, it's the biggest 35mm news since color slides. Your Kodak dealer has Kodacolor 135 right now. I hope you'll try it this weekend.
When we decided to get a testimonial for Scotty's, we went right to the top.
Achoo! Achoo! That's what I like about a Scotty. It's a tree sneezer.
Scotty's, the 3 Sneezer.
There she is, the Lark by Studebaker.
A compact with performability.
You know about performability in the Lark?
Yep.
About the new Lark steering system, new brakes, new front wheel suspension, the Skybolt 6?
Sure do.
How come?
I took a demonstration drive.
Figures. You have to drive the Lark to believe it. See your Studebaker dealer tomorrow and take a demonstration drive.
Tell him we sent you.
You know me. Would you believe I'm Bugs Bunny? I'm also the voice of many other cartoon characters. But in here, they don't care if I'm Elmer Fudd. So I carry an American Express card, the one card I need for travel and entertaining, for business and pleasure. Why, without this, the only way I'd get any attention is by saying, that's all, folks.
To apply for a card, call 800-528-8000.
The American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
This year, Great Western Savings begins its 100th year as part of the West. Share with us now a moment from our history.
Sutter's Mill. Remember your history books? This is where they discovered gold in 1848. A year later, the whole world knew about it. Men swarmed in here from everywhere. make their fortune. But most of them went broke. Now, I know that feeling because I spent a little money trying to get rich quick, but never again. Now I like it where you put something in and get something back, like in this Great Western Savings Account. That's my kind of a gold mine. Great Western Savings.
Filmed in 1977.
Bewitched has been brought to you by Clairol, creators of the exciting natural look in beauty, to help you discover your most exciting natural look.
If you own an electric hair setter, you can now get droop-proof curls like never before. With new Kindness heat-activated conditioner. Spray it on, roll it up, and the heat activates the protein conditioner to give you extra body. Helps your hair hold up through wind and rain and just plain living. The droop-proof curl. Get it with new Kindness heat-activated conditioner from Clairol. Fantastic.
Pee-wee Reese has a way with Dodger rookies or Sandlot youngsters. Pee-wee, you do a lot of work with boys.
Not work, Al. I like baseball and kids. I enjoy helping teenagers start right.
Well, that's around shaving age, and you give them pointers on personal appearance, too?
Yes, a boy has more self-respect when he's clean-shaved. I tell him to use a Gillette razor, Al.
You said it, the Gillette Super Speed Razor. And today there are 3. Light for sensitive skin and most younger men. Regular for average skin and beard. Heavy for men who like the heft and feel of a heavier razor. Each is different, precisely engineered. One has the right blade edge exposure, edge angle, and weight to shave you in a breeze. Comfortable, good-looking shaves you may never have had before. And convenient, you change blades and rinse clean, so. Choose your Gillette Super Speed Razor. $1.29 with Gillette Blue Blade dispenser and handy travel case.
Courage alone does not a hero make. It takes hero food to be like Rin Tin Tin. Gravy Train. Gaines Gravy Train, the stuff heroes are made of. Protein, vitamins, minerals, all in heroic proportions. That's what your dog gets from Gravy Train. Hearty chunks of good food to bite into with a taste fit for a hero. Add water and delicious beef tasty gravy happens. Gravy Train. It'll make your dog feel like Rin Tin Tin.
Only CoverGirl has clean Noxzema medication. Good for your skin. Clean makeup, CoverGirl for one for CoverGirl for one for CoverGirl for one.
This is my family album. And this to my brother Harpo. He's always chasing the girls. But to no more, now he's a telling the girls about creamy prom. Because prom home permanent is awaiting clean. Leaves your hair soft like a silk. Look at the way the wave is. She's a bounce back every time. Hey, lady, wouldn't you like your wave behavior like this? You'll get a creamy prom. Right, Harpo?
This year, Great Western Savings begins its 100th year as part of the West. Share with us now a moment from our history.
Folks say they've been around for 1,000 years. Walk through them and it's like being in a giant cathedral. California sequoias. It's a nice feeling to be around something that's been here a long time and it's going to last. That's the way I feel about Great Western Savings. I've hung my money on a lot of things that were just passing through. No more. Today I put it with Great Western. Still growing, still helping people to build their homes and raise their families. And they're going to be around for a long time.
Filmed in 1978.
For the Air Force, Dick Williams.
I know what it's like to manage a championship team.
the excitement and satisfaction of seeing a team of superstars perform. It must be the same way for the people who manage the Air Force. Pilots, navigators, mechanics, technicians, all working together on a team with a common goal. You can be part of that team. The Air Force will train you in one of over 100 skills, training that can count towards college credit, in skills that will be useful to you in or out of the service. Whether you're a man or a woman, whether you qualify to be an officer or an airman, the Air Force probably has a super job for you. What's eating you, Superman?
Well, they won't let me play with them.
Why not?
You see, I'm too good.
I know how you feel. Why don't you try the Air Force?
Will they let me play the outfield?
Well, ask your nearest Air Force recruiter.
I will. I'll do it. How about you coming along? You could use a job, too.
For the location of your nearest Air Force recruiter, call toll-free 800-447-4700.
Now here's Ozzie with news about Big as Life pictures.
Say, do you know what this is? It's a Kodak 35mm color slide. Not very big, is it? Only 2 inches by 2 inches. And yet when you project it on a home screen, you get color pictures as big as life. Now, Kodak has many fine color slide cameras in a wide range of prices. Here's one I like especially. The new Kodak Signet 50 camera. It has a built-in photoelectric light meter that takes all the guesswork out of exposure. You just aim it at your subject, and it tells you how much light there is or isn't. It's just like having an expert photographer showing you which setting to use.
The Kodak Signet 50 camera, complete with flash holder, costs $82.50, or as little as $8.50 down. When you see its many fine features, I'm sure you'll accept no other.
Friends, go in and see a DeSoto Plymouth dealer tomorrow. And when you do, tell him Groucho sent you.
Next week, Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life will be brought to you by the makers of From Home Permanent.
Cut. Reload. That's a complicated-looking machine, isn't it? Funny thing is, a lot of people still think that taking home movies is that complicated, too. If that were true, believe me, I wouldn't take them. For instance, he's reloading the film. Let me show you how easy Kodak has made it for you and me with a Kodak Instamatic movie camera. You finish one roll of film, drop another one in, you're all set. How are you doing, Charlie? Taking home movies couldn't be much easier than that, could it? You know, now is the time to start, too. When the kids are growing up, you're on your vacation, save the action and the color in movies. With Kodak projectors, movies are easy to show, too. And cameras start at less than $35. Actually, you know what Kodak does for you?
This year, Great Western Savings begins its 100th year as part of the West. Share with us now a moment from our history.
Good morning. Great time of day, first light. Chill air, warm fire, hot coffee. Letting them sleep in. This is their last day of vacation. They're growing up. And I hate to lose them. You know, I've done a lot of things in my life I'm not too proud of, but storing up for those two is not one of them. And I found the right place to do it. Great Western Savings. Save a little for your kids. It's a nice way to start a day.
Filmed in 1977.
Now, just a minute, McGee. Fipper, McGee, don't go near that closet.
Don't fret yourself, Bud. I'll find it. It's got to be in here someplace. Oh! Well, what do you know? My old mandolin. Hello. I'm Jim Jordan. If you're in your 50s or more, you'll probably remember me as Fibber McGee from the radio show Fibber McGee and Molly. As McGee, you can see that I had trouble storing things and had to make every spare inch count. Today we have a different problem. How to make every dollar count. That's why the American Association of Retired Persons, a national nonprofit organization of almost 6 million members, has a consumer guide booklet on shopping for just about everything. If you're over 55, it's yours free for writing to me, Fibber McGee, AARP, Washington, D.C. I know it's here someplace. I gotta find it.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And so why, Gumaesa, haven't you finished cleaning the pots and the pans, sir?
Why, guy?
Why?
Hilda, listen to me. Listen, Hilda, to me. Because it's such a mess, that's why it is. Look, we got the burned on sauerkraut there. And we got the scorched Wiener Schnitzel, all of it's a mess.
Stupid dog. But then there's an easy way to clean up the pots and the pans.
What?
You just use this here SOS.
Huh? SOS?
Yeah!
When you have pots and pans to do,
SOS.
no need to get into a stew.
SOS.
These sturdy pads will help you start
At cleaning burns and stains and grease the Wonder Bar.
These fibers strong
Are what you need.
they're filled with soap.
They clean with speed.
And if you find them tough to clean,
You just ain't using the right stuff to clean.
these magic pads are simply grand.
SOS.
Like finding that you've got 3 hands.
SOS.
It makes your pots and pans shine like mad. Because there's soap right in each magic scouring pad. Because there's soap right in each magic scouring pad. It makes your pots and pans just shine like mad. SOS, 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 SOS Magic Scouring Pads. I would like to take a half a second to send my heartfelt thanks to the McCann Erickson Advertising Agency out in San Francisco who wrote that for us. We had nothing to do with it. It was all their idea. And boy, I would sure like to see more fun commercials like that on television.
Somebody's going to have a lot of sweeping up to do. Well, now that the war is over, the big job of cleaning up begins. And our bill for cleaning up is going to be pretty big. Because millions of our sons are still in uniform. And some of them, now occupying Germany, must stick around until the last German is educated in the ways of peace. More of our men will have the same job to do in Japan. Others will be brought home to get our gratitude and the benefits of the GI Bill of Rights. These men have rights too. The right to the best medical care and equipment money will buy. Think of the mustering out pay, hundreds of dollars per man, so he can get a new start and an education. Figure too the cost of providing the maximum number of jobs for both the veterans and the production line soldier. Well, they've done their job. Now let's finish ours. They want a war. Now we got to pay for it. And I'm sure that every good American will be glad to help foot the bill. We've never fallen down during any war law, and now we're asked to buy victory bonds. To bring our men back home. For the termination of war contracts, to prevent inflation, and to provide for our own future. Men and women of the Home Front Army, this victory loan drive is our last chance to buy extra bonds.